Not even a word.
Supposing we are. Yes.
Supposed we are.
Supposing, not supposed.
I like the way supposed sounds.
Okay, so you can't make up something off of a word that's already made up.
But I like the way supposed sounds. Supposed.
Nah.
Supposedly.
Anyway.
Supposedly.
You got that all out your system?
Nope.
We'll never know.
Supposed.
Well, we're here with another episode of Family Reelz. Yeah, all that jazz.
Yeah.
And it is officially the spooky season, so all of our picks will be Halloween-esque themed.
Yes, on the
whatever that means.
Trying to be on the little bit of a lighter side for
because somebody here is a big old baby.
Weenie.
Whatever.
Go to Weenie Hut Jr.
Mm-hmm. Women call Weenie School.
Whatever.
A big old baby. So yeah, so this is we're starting off really light. And we decided to tackle the movie that everybody's been talking about for years because you guys are losers. Hocus Pocus 2. A sequel that should never have been made. Especially not so far removed from the original. It's honestly weird.
I was not looking forward at all to watching this. But I actually didn't hate it. So
yeah,
we'll see
no,
about
for
that.
sure. I definitely didn't. I mean, I've seen worse sequels.
Oh, there's definitely been worse
original movies for sure. I mean, just worse everything. That honestly, yeah.
I mean, what could they do with it? This
nothing. They should have left it alone. That's the whole point.
Nostalgia.
But that's why you get dumb shit like that. Like it's too long. They let's bite the bullet here. They were too old for this shit. It doesn't make any sense for your immortal witches who don't age to age so much.
Well, they haven't eaten children's souls.
But they haven't even existed. They didn't exist. They were brought back into existence. It's the same thing in the first one. They have been dead for hundreds of years.
Out of existence.
That's stupid. That's stupid as hell.
Maybe not existing really means you're existing, but in a different part of the universe.
I don't know.
Maybe they aged.
It doesn't make any sense because we saw it the first time. They were hung and came back exactly as they were killed. Then they were killed, but then they came back and were aged.
Okay. So obviously you're not supposed to pay attention to the fact.
How can you not? How can you not?
They look fine.
If they made an Edward Scissorhand 2, we'll never forget that Johnny Depp was supposed to be a doll in that movie. How's he gonna hide that if he's an old ass man? This dude looked like bacon. He is like 5 years away from looking like Mickey Rourke.
Imagine freaking Edward Scissorhands 2 is in the making right now.
You know it is. They're doing a Beetlejuice 2 apparently.
I gotta tell you, I just saw it was like it was a meme, but it was actually an actual picture of Mickey Rourke walking with his stylist, and somebody said that the way his stylist looked like Ben Stiller in Zoolander. He said they really could be doing this. Looks like an ad for the remake of Zoolander. For real. Oh my gosh. Terrible.
Man.
What's crazy is it's probably not even far-fetched now. That at some point somebody's going to be like, we should remake Zoolander.
They're waiting on it. They're giving a certain amount of time for other things to blow over, and then they're like, we're going to hit him with it.
That's kind of what I think how they think when they do remakes. It's
I just think they're like, all right, well, we'll do it again.
Yeah.
It made us a lot of money the first time. Why not do it again? And here we are doing it again. Oh, God.
I don't think we needed this, but
no, we didn't.
We didn't. Okay, so we may not have proactively needed it. However, now that it's here,
we don't retroactively need it either.
I don't know. I'm like, I'm okay.
Nah, it's a terrible addition to
need
the
it, but it
franchise.
Okay, we're putting the cart before the horse anyway. Let's go through it.
I didn't need it, but it was like, oh, okay. All right. I guess I'll take it.
Well, this movie starts where all movies start, with unnecessary backstory.
No. I appreciated that.
Yes.
Actually, because it makes you you get to know the witches better in that way. But
They are villains. Why do I need to know them?
because every villain has a past story, and
Oh,
what they
you
went
liked
through.
Maleficent.
Yeah, but it was all about her. And
She's a
it didn't
villain.
shy away from the fact that she was a villain. But
Because-
her story is a lot different from this, because these three, especially from the first one, were brought in as just witches. And then they witched. They did witchy shit.
They did, but
Yeah.
They were evil. It's clear that they're evil. There's no underlying not evil.
No,
they
true.
became the villain.
But I
Obviously,
mean,
this is the
okay.
villain's backstory.
Well, okay. So it gave something. I like the girls, especially the one playing Winifred.
What a fucking name.
That is an interesting name.
She with those teeth and everything. And she was. I think she did a good job. The young girl who did that. It was, I wouldn't call it a whole backstory. It was just kind of just bringing you to speed on, where they were. They were obviously already witches.
It was close to 15 minutes. No, they weren't. That was the whole point.
But it's explaining.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's
Yeah,
explaining why they are
How
the
they
way
got
they
there.
are. Like,
I mean,
why are they such dicks? Well, this is why.
Now, honestly, no, because they were clearly dicks before, but now they're dicks with power. That's why the whole town hates them, because they be doing dickish shit. Like, that's the whole point.
I realized this was, it was a, lesson, as in being open-minded. I think it kind of connected to feminism in a way when it came to this.
Oh my God, all things connect to feminism in
That's
this
what
day
I-
and age.
That's what I'm
This
saying.
is
That's
true.
what I feel
Now
like they
that's
were.
a fact,
This
and
story was
unnecessarily
relating to.
so.
It's really
Like a
like
woman
what that, and that's
wanting
exactly
more
what it
things.
is though, because I it's so stupid, because we go back to a time where the autonomy of women weren't what it was, and she was
Right.
being betrothed to some dude she didn't want to be with, but then she was also hitting on a dude who didn't want to be with her.
Right,
So
right.
it's like,
how
yeah,
he's-
sure.
I like how she's like, I don't want to marry him. He's like, good.
He was like, oh hell yeah, and they were like, what? He was like, no, I mean, but look at her, she's fucking ugly.
Yeah, no, that was
And then so they basically the dude is what's his name? Yeah, his last name, he's a priest
Billy.
or something.
The dude.
man?
It's his name, because he's the
last
descendant of
name.
it. I can't remember
What's
the name
his
already. I
name?
done forgot it. I can't believe I didn't write it down.
Unimportant, whatever.
It was important.
It's
That's
like
why that
Stark
was-
or something like that. Some stupid
No,
shit.
it wasn't Stark. What is your-
How about, hold on, let me Google.
Oh, see, I didn't put down the name because in my notes I referred to him as "Who gives a shit."
I missed a lot of notes as well.
So
names.
there it is.
I missed a lot of names. 'cause
But
I
anyways,
forgot
well, let's call him Stark for now.
No. What is
Stark.
It's Sharp. I think it's Sharp. Is
No,
it Sharp?
no,
Is
it's
it
not.
is
It's
it
not.
Sharp?
It's not. It's absolutely
Is it Shark?
Are we talking-
Trask.
Trask, like
Trask.
Boulevard Trask. I should
Are
have
we
remembered
sure?
that.
Yes.
Yes, it's
Oh,
Trask. You remember
okay,
that?
yeah,
That
the
does make
mayor.
sense. So this guy is like, he's a Trask. He's like priest Trask or some shit like that, or
Yeah.
father Trask or whatever he is, and he's basically the one calling all the shots. And he's like, all right, fuck this. We're gonna take you away from your sisters, and they all freak the fuck out. Then a spider comes, and the whole town freaks out in separate directions. So it's funny as hell, because none of them know where this spider is, clearly. But they all start freaking out. The sisters get away, and then they go into the Forbidden
Spider.
Woods. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a spider.
a spider. They had a spider in there.
Oh,
And that-
I didn't know that it was that. I thought they were like just causing calamity.
No, because when she tried to take him, the spider that she had grabbed earlier,
Right.
which was her birthday gift, I guess,
Yeah.
crawled on old boy, and he freaked the fuck out.
He called it a devil spider.
He called everything a devil. Everything's a devil.
I don't
Like
blame
Baba
him for
Boucher's
that.
mama.
I don't blame him for that. Spiders are the devil.
Spiders are the devil, and that spider didn't look like a normal spider, so I'm not
by.
Yeah, I'm not in on that one.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
to be honest.
So the girls run into the Forbidden Woods.
Forbidden Woods. Ooh.
And this bird, which looks like a crow or a raven.
Probably a crow
Okay.
or a raven. I don't know the difference between the two. People always be like, well, one is bigger than the other. I was like, well, nigga, they all look
There's something else too, but I
talking
can't
to Mom
remember.
about it, and I was just like, I'm guessing the raven's bigger because it reminds me of something scarier because of Edgar Allan Poe.
She said, "Yeah, that's what I said." Probably because of Edgar Allan Poe. We saw something really weird. I think we saw a pelican flying,
Oh yeah,
like here.
it was big.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
But anyway,
fucking things.
That's what it made me think of.
So anyway, so they run to the Forbidden Woods, and then all of a
bird turns
sudden,
into a
because we
woman.
saw the bird early in the in the very very beginning,
Just flying around.
Yeah. So suddenly, this bird comes out to be this witch, this woman, and she's like basically threatening to eat them because they're children and yada yada yada. And then, how does she just identify them as they're witches? Because she
because something happened. She was about to fuck with the other sister, and then Winifred came out and she said something about her power.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's it. That's all she said. She was just like, "Oh, you got some power on you. Ah, you're a witch."
Oh, she
Yeah.
smelled her. And she's like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
like that.
This is pretty
about you,
gross.
Something about you. Yeah.
And then
There's a lot
told-
of child smelling in this movie.
Then she told them how lucky they were that they had, their coven, which they had each other. And then they were like, well, where's your coven?
She said, "Don't fucking worry about it. God damn."
She's like, oh, they've, gone on or whatever. And so that's when she gave them that book, huh?
Yeah, she gave him the book.
She gave
In
them
which they
book,
named book.
not the book. She gave them book.
Which they named book.
They named it books because they're so creative.
And it's her 16th birthday, so that's
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
birthday
yeah.
gift.
So she gave her a book, and then she said, but there is the power spell, and she said, don't ever do it. Promise me you won't ever do it. And of course she says she promises she won't. And
It's fair enough. I mean, she did keep her promise.
For the longest time. But then she got
Yeah.
desperate.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so that's pretty much what happens. And basically we fast forward.
Well, at
Right.
this point, they cast a spell to get revenge.
Well, they just burn a house down.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's the Reverend's house.
Yeah, okay. Then it goes to present day Halloween. There's three friends. Well,
So much of this annoying shit.
okay, so it's these three friends. Well, they used to be like
Right. Two of them are still, they're talking
Yeah.
about the one girl.
Not a child in this movie, by the
Okay.
way.
Becca. It's her birthday.
Wait,
And-
Becca. Hold on, let me see the names. Becca,
Becca,
She's-
it's Liz and
Cassie.
and Cassie,
Right.
Izzy, and
Izzy.
Cassie.
Why don't I get Liz?
Becca and Izzy,
Izzy.
are,
Izzy
they
threw me
still, cool with each other. But apparently Cassie has tried to be, whatever.
She's
You
in
know
the
how
in
to-
crowd now,
yeah,
so
she's trying to be popular
doing
and
she's doing
all-
in crowd shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but they're talking about her birthday and what they're gonna do, and obviously it's what they always do. They watch scary movies because her birthday's obviously Halloween.
Should be real cool. I wish my birthday was on Halloween. It's not though.
It's
Cool.
not.
It's not. This is your fault.
Okay. Anyway, so then the other girl was like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" And she's like, "You know what we're doing."
And let's just be honest. Becca is supposed to be the hero here, but she's being an asshole like the entire time because she's like, you can see, what's her face? I already forgot Karen's name.
Cassie.
Cassie's She's trying to find a balance between both worlds by even talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to be like friends with this girl because Becca's kind of a bitch. Like
She is.
she was just like,
She's
you
like-
know what we do every year. She's like, oh my God, I'm trying to make conversation. You're being an asshole. And she's like, yeah.
Well, see, she
Mr.
said
Big.
something to Izzy before that because she's like, maybe she'll want to, hang out, and she's like she's wanted to hang out with us for at least even one time in the last 4 months. So it seems like she started pulling away and doing other stuff.
Well, she
so they
got a
feel
boyfriend, so
I was gonna
she's
say,
like,
yeah.
that
I
was her
mean, she's got a boyfriend. That's
What
it
happened?
almost sounds like jealousy
it is a little bit. I've
because
been,
if you
I've been
can
in
see,
that position.
Izzy is kind of like in the middle. She's like, I get it. Like, let her do her thing for a bit. Why are we tripping? That doesn't mean she doesn't want to come.
Yeah. But
Becca's
that's what
kind of a loser, so it is what it is.
Whatever. And this is like no parents in this movie.
No, there's one.
Except
There's
the one.
a parent.
Yeah, there's a parent.
There's a parent in this movie.
And then, boy, they really Disneyed it up.
Yeah.
No, they Disney. No, the first parents in the first ones were worse. They were the
But
worst.
they were there.
Yeah, at least for the beginning of the movie, and then when they were cursed
Yeah, at the end, yeah.
They
to
left
dance.
and they're like, fuck these kids.
to dance until they died.
They're
So,
about to.
Hell of a curse.
Then
so at any rate, they're
They meet the BF.
they run. The jock, whatever douchey boyfriend guy comes and he's like, "Oh, babe, we're gonna go." What did he say?
He was basically like, "Oh, did you tell him?" Oh no, he didn't even
no,
say that
before
because
that.
he started
He said-
talking about a party.
No. When he said, they
Are we
were gonna
going
go-
point by point? Do we have to say everything this guy does? No.
Oh no, I just wanted to say this because it was like just a stupid douche thing, like throwing something at cars or something stupid.
They were gonna go pick on a kid because he was wearing something that was out of date.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was?
Yeah, they were just gonna go pick on a kid.
Wow.
Okay.
He just said he was gonna go pick on a kid.
Okay.
Oh.
Anyway, he's like that guy. And then they end up in the classroom. That's what we find out about.
And he's like, "Oh, you going to Cassie's party?"
She was
Everybody's
like,
invited,
Wait,
even
what?
that-
You having a party?"
He said, everybody's invited, even that one kid,
Oh
Bradley
yeah,
or something
even
like that.
whatever his name is, and then he's calling him. He's like, "What?"
Glenn.
Oh, Glenn. He's got a vampire.
He's dressed as a
costume
vampire because
on.
this is he's about that life.
He's a nerd too.
Major nerd.
Super
He kept
nerd.
calling. You know what I like though is in normal scenes like that, Glenn would be the one who'd be like, "Yeah, I'm invited." Glenn was like, "What?
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck are you talking to me, dog?" Like he was upset. Like I am reading. You see what I'm doing here? Fuck. He was mad as hell.
He was essentially Napoleon
Oh, and
Dynamite.
then but in the beginning, because she had this little like turquoise looking rock or whatever.
She just had some turquoise. She got it from Arizona.
Yeah,
where
and
they
then
make
she
turquoise.
said,
It's for
why
luck.
do you need for luck? And she said, for what? She said, because I'm betting he's going to give us a pop quiz or whatever. And then when that guy came, the boyfriend dude, and she said that, and he's like, "Oh no, that would be horrible because I didn't do the reading." And then anyway, of course, he said it's a pop quiz, and he's like looking at her like, "Oh, you're a witch or whatever."
Because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
We established this earlier that he's an idiot.
Definitely the village idiot.
But he's not, because he thought she was a witch.
Well, I guess.
No, he's still an idiot. That was a lucky guess
Okay, yeah.
from an idiot.
Yeah, that's true. So then all of a sudden, she starts saying these words, saying all kind of crazy.
She said a vegan
And-
recipe.
No, it's not even a vegan recipe, just
She
like
just
vegan
words.
foods.
Yeah, and then she said Satan, which is it actually it's something. I don't think it's like tofu or something. It's Seitan. Satan.
Satan.
That's a terrible name.
She goes, "Hey, well, she was
He's
putting a
like,
curse on
she
me." He
said
was like,
Satan.
She was like, "Come on, Cassie, you know I wasn't." Cassie was like, "Well, it did sound like you said Satan," and I was just like, "Oh my god!"
And then they get
I
sent to
just
the
hate
principal's
everyone
office.
in this movie,
Yeah, they're pretty annoying.
which is insane because the teacher was just like, "All right, both of you guys, principal's office." He didn't
I
even.
know.
Your job, dude. Do your job,
You gotta
He was like, I don't feel like dealing with
nigga.
these
You
people.
are garbage.
Now get him out of here. So they go to the principal's office. He comes out and says he's got
Detention.
No, he got Saturday school.
Saturday school. That's what
that
it
is
was.
extreme as fuck. I don't.
He said detention.
No,
he got
said
Saturday school.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. He was pretty.
That's whack. Like
And we didn't
We'll
find
have to
out.
talk
Did
about-
she get Saturday school?
Well, we don't even know if she ever even got to talk to the principal. They cut that shit right out of the movie because then she tells Cassie, "Oh, your dad's not gonna let you have a party. He's gonna kill you. You're gonna be grounded till you're in college." And she was like, "Whatever. Who cares? I have cool friends now." And it was like, who cares? All right, moving on.
They go back around to where the festival or whatever.
They're setting up
thing-
for a festival, a
Yeah.
Halloween festival that they clearly do every year, but they don't.
And that's when they meet. Oh, they don't meet. They see Cassie's dad, who is also the mayor.
right.
Mayor Trask.
Mayor
Yes.
Trask.
You guys remember that name? Huh? You remember that? Yeah.
Okay.
So he's like, "Hey, girl."
Because I didn't put two and two together until somebody said something in the movie.
Yeah, I didn't either. Actually,
It was so
You come on
unimportant.
board. Sorry.
It was so unimportant.
but he was like talking to them, like, "Are you gonna come? It's gonna be so great." And talking about the candy apple lady.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I'm so excited."
He was like, "Have you had
She
them?"
left
Oh,
and
my
everything.
God.
I don't know. She did something called GMA or. And then she was like, Good Morning America.
He was just really excited for this
yeah,
thing.
whatever. He was like, those candy apples will change your life. He was
he's a super
looked like he was about to
goober
cry.
and super passionate about these candy apples.
I mean, that's
I don't
good.
blame him because I'm like that about certain things as well. I'm very much like that.
Yeah, about certain foods for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I was like just raving about those barbecue chips I found to everybody at work. I was like, yeah, and you can find them at Sprouts.
Yeah.
If it ain't about them cookies, I don't want to hear nothing about no Sprouts.
Ain't about no cookies.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
at any rate,
Then we go.
He did ask. They're talking about old time because they've been friends since they were 5 years old and yada yada. And he's like, by the way, where is Cassie? Which is his daughter, so that's crazy. But anyway, he's like, and then like, oh, what'd she say? She gave an excuse. Oh,
She was like, "Oh, she had a mascara accident or something."
He's like, mascara. Hope everything's okay. Look,
Yeah,
got all
that
serious.
they got too real too fast.
So then, I'm not even going by my notes.
Well,
No, I mean,
that's it for
like,
that.
yeah,
They
'cause they
interacted with him, and then after that,
They go back to the old Sanderson house, which has now become a shop of sorts.
Right, a magician.
What is it called? It's like a gift shop, but
a magic shop. Yes.
I think it's no. I think it's a store first.
Yeah.
I think it is a store, and he just does that like from
Yeah.
time to time. But I do think it's like I wouldn't say a cult, but like a novelty gift store.
Yeah.
For like, it's mostly for the Sanderson sisters. It's all that's why you have like replicas of the
Right.
books and brooms and shit.
because
and,
it is their cabin.
yeah,
apparently.
yeah, it's clean as fuck though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did clean. They cleaned the mess out of it. They must use the power sander.
And then, so the guy who runs it, his name is
Gilbert.
And-
Played by
which
Sam Richardson.
That's
Funny
his
guy.
name.
I like
you
him.
I've seen him in a lot of
He's
things.
in a lot of things. We
Yeah.
don't have time.
and with the great.
Whatever.
So he's doing this show all about the Sanderson sisters, telling the story, all extra dramatic, and what happens? Oh, he's saying there's Notorious, and he talks about the book in which he has, and it's the real book. I thought
It's
it was
the real
just gonna be
book.
a
He's got it locked in a cage, and they're like, you don't want the guy said, you sure don't want anybody to get in there another book? And he's like, it's not that we don't want anyone to get in there. We don't want the book to get out.
But also, I think both things can be true. You don't want anyone in there either.
Well, yeah, for sure. But he had to, for a dramatic purpose.
And this guy was an
that
asshole because he just kept
he
talking
was
through the whole thing.
Yeah, he was. And then he said something about the candle and it, having to be a virgin.
Lit,
and then,
that little
and
kid.
that little
What's
kid,
a virgin? It's like, yo,
when they haven't
lit a candle.
lit a candle.
That's good. That's smart.
Because the mother was looking at him like,
that
really?
kid had a name in the subtitles, and I thought he was
Did
going to be
he?
important later, and he turned out not to be at all.
He had a name.
If you look at the subtitles, it says his name. I don't remember what it was, but
wow.
it's like Dave says something, and
But
I'm like,
that's the subtitles. They be doing that.
he doesn't need a name. He's kid. He is kid. He doesn't come back
Kid
up.
number one. Kid number one.
Yeah, he's weird. So I was like, oh, is he going to be important?
No.
No.
Nope. I
Nah.
thought the mother,
Back
the
at
way
all.
she looked, I thought she would have been somebody later
and that's
too.
why I thought they
After
gave her the
ran out,
name.
that was it.
I thought they gave him the name because he was going to be her kid, which
Yeah.
she was going to be a major player.
Right.
Turns out,
Nope.
You know what?
They never came back.
You know who she looks like for real?
The girl from the first one.
Yes.
I thought that,
What girl?
but then
The
when
girl-
the girl from the first
the
one.
teenage
You know
girl.
what? That probably was her.
I wonder if it is.
They said
because
everybody
they put
but
a
the little
face on her,
girl.
and I'm like, why does she
Wait,
look
what?
familiar?
Hold on, let's
They
see.
said, I think they said everybody but the little girl was in there.
Really?
Yeah,
I think that was her.
It doesn't say that. I don't see
Hold
anything on the
up.
cast. I'm not going.
I'll find it.
But they probably won't be in the casting. Like if you look at.
Oh, they'll be as extras.
Yeah,
I mean,
it'll still show because it's like,
You
let's
gotta
see.
go
I'm
on, like,
going to find out her name.
What is it called? IMDb.
I'm on there right now. Just keep moving along.
Okay, so moving along. So there's a black cat, but that also means nothing. I'm not disappointed because the kid, he moved forward, right? He moved to the next realm. He doesn't have to be a cat no more.
Oh, you talk about Binks?
Yeah. But I'm not disappointed about him not coming back. It's just when I saw the cat,
I thought it was going to be
I
a
thought
major
it was gonna
player
be
too.
somebody.
My God.
Yeah. I think they did see they were teasing stuff.
But that's kind of irritating for a movie like
'cause I
this.
was hoping like there'd be some kind of
Because then it's
magic
almost
cat.
like we know what you want, but fuck you guys. Like,
You're not getting
come
it.
on.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
So
cat
they
to
do.
come
She
back and help.
basically
No,
he he knows them, and he's like, "Hey, it's your birthday. I got you this fancy candle." It was ugly as shit.
He said, no. He said it's free. You can have it or whatever. 16th birthday, you're supposed to get your powers and stuff like that. And
no, that wasn't her.
Yeah, see, but it looked like her.
It did kind of until I saw it right now.
But then maybe all white. I always thought that was Hillary Swank, so all white women look alike to me. I don't know, man.
So they also buy something else. What did they buy?
They didn't buy it because the other stuff was free. The little stuff for the curse stuff, curse leaves or whatever the shit that was called. Because all she did was buy a stone. She bought a little rock. That's all she bought.
And
he was like, yeah, because he was like, oh, that's it. It's your birthday. That's all you're buying. And she was like, yeah, just this rack from a thing. He was like, ooh, fuck you, rack. Here's some free stuff.
Yeah, then he handed it that crazy looking candle.
Yeah, that thing. Ooh. Wowzers. He did it.
He did.
But yeah, so they leave and they go do their birthday ritual
to the
Forbidden Woods.
The Forbidden Woods.
And I mean, here's the thing: they've done this every year, so I wouldn't expect anything. But they shouldn't be out in the woods by themselves.
Period.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's one of those communities that everybody knows everybody kind of deal, but still.
Even if I had 5 good friends with me, I ain't going to that.
Nope. Nah.
Anyways, they in the world. We have 2 girls of color in the woods doing white girl shit. Trying to summon. They're doing this candle. I don't even think they're trying to summon someone. What they were trying to give themselves like good energy, positive vibes. Like they were really trying to summon positive vibes. And then it was like, oh wait, whoa, did you guys feel that? And we get it right pretty quickly. Boom! Here come the Sanderson sisters.
Yeah, the whole
singing a goddamn song.
Oh yeah, they were performing like big time.
I put it in my notes and then as soon as I finished writing it, they said it. They were like, "Who is this performance for?" And I was like, "Exactly. Who the fuck are they performing for?"
I mean, they were
to put on a show.
It was so weird.
You know, they're
weird.
divas too. You know, these witches, they're divas. If you hadn't noticed, it's been like that. You know,
I don't know. Not Mary. Mary seems like she just wants to be left alone for the most part, but she gets dragged along on these adventures. She's like she always has that Danny Glover look, like I'm too old for this shit. Like she's just over it, over the whole witching as a whole.
I don't know.
Still gotta introduce yourself.
Huh?
I said still gotta introduce yourself.
To who? To who?
Just so they know, so it's fun.
The new generation.
They've been around. They've been around for so many years. They got to entertain themselves, right?
This is so bad. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad. But it once again doesn't make any sense. They literally turned to dust in the last movie.
Well, they just summoned them again.
Yeah, you know, stuff always comes from dust and dead.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
not the point. It's the time
trying
they
to
wouldn't
make logic out of this.
Yes, because
so we kind of like skipped over it. The song that she sang to the children in the first movie
starts playing.
She started right,
and then the ground broke, and then that's when the witches come back and they have their little song.
That song still gives me the fucking shivers.
It did start off rocky because I was just like, oh, like this, you know, but It didn't really ride on the musical thing.
I don't know because I expected it to be because I immediately put in my notes. Yeah. Now it's a musical. God damn it.
Yeah, I assumed that as well, but then it was.
God, it's not that kind of Disney movie.
No, yeah, I thought it was for a second though.
It had the one in the first one, which was the perfect song. I put a spell on you.
Spell on you. Yeah,
it obviously right on the nose.
You gotta know that
a
lot of it is so that Bette Midler can sing.
Well, I get that. I get that. I don't mind
Bette
Bette Midler doing her thing because it's Bette Midler. Yeah. She's great. She's great in this. Like, in fact, they're all great except for Sarah Jessica Parker.
You just gotta think, she played the role that she played the role.
And this is why it was weirder, right? Because even like, because in the first one, it made more sense because she was clearly younger, playing younger as the dumb, blonde, younger, energetic, whatever. She tried it here and it felt weird because she's just not that anymore. It just doesn't work. She's been
comparatively.
She's been doing Sex in the City for so long.
I had to adjust my eyes to look at her and as
because at least like the other two.
But it worked out.
I don't know.
Still
Man.
fine.
I mean, it's still.
I don't think. I think even voice wise, it just felt like she can't do it.
Yeah, she got a more matured
she
voice.
Can't do it, and they played to that a little bit more in the movie. But
yeah,
it's that's why I think it's like you got to do if you're gonna do a sequel, it has to be closer because it's too late. It's too late.
You're too late.
It is just too late.
Let's continue. So that's when they capture to the girls, and they're saying they want to eat him and stuff, and they're like, "Wait, we're witches," and she's like, "This is when she." Tries to introduce them to lotions and cereal.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
And
they
like,
they
really?
also vaguely recap the last movie because they're like, oh yeah, you remember we were here, and then oh yeah, the guy tried to trick us with the sunlight, but then it wasn't really sunlight. Like they go
Right.
through all this
Right.
shit that happened, kind of like as a
bring you
catch you
to
up in case
speed.
you didn't know.
Right.
Fucking
The
cares.
chances are you
Well,
did.
I mean, yeah, because you can watch this movie and not.
But
watch
do you
it.
I
think
it's more of a
anybody who had-
no, I think it's more of a reminder too, because in reality,
I
I
forgot.
was when she said, I'm like, oh yeah. So it's kind of like more of a reminder.
But you don't really need to be reminded. If
I
you
know, but
forgot,
I
it's
like
fine.
it.
You're
I
not
like
supposed
it.
to be thinking, why do you do that? I'm talking.
But I like it.
It's what I'm saying is it's like as a reminder, it doesn't matter. You're watching the sequel, not the first one. So you're not actively thinking about the first one. So if you don't remember it, it shouldn't affect this movie.
No,
But even then,
but it's not
Because it's
bad
a completely
idea.
different thing.
But
Like
and
it's
then
not
people
this.
love
True.
it. People love it when you bring stuff up from
But that's what I'm saying. The way they did it wasn't like anything that anybody would care about because the people who are watching this are a different generation. So they're not watching
Except
it going like,
for the
oh,
people
well,
who
yeah.
aren't.
Do you know the generation you're in? You are still a millennial. Older
I
millennials
understand
still
that.
go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes,
I understand that. What I'm saying is it's an unnecessary recap, especially the way they did it. It's not like they recapped the entire movie. They only recapped the scene where he fakes the light.
just to
Right.
reiterate
That's
that they've
it.
been fooled once and they don't want to be
Yeah,
fooled again.
and that's fine. I don't mind that. But then it's just like it just took a little longer, and they do that a lot through this movie. Like even like this, like you were talking about, they tell them, oh yeah, we're witches, and that drags because they're like saying all these different things. They're like, oh yeah, and we do this, and this, and of course this, and I'm just like, come on, just wrap it up.
Right,
Get to the
yeah.
purpose of why you're doing this, and they're like,
And he's like basically convincing them they don't need to, directly
children.
eat children.
they also
stay
tell them
young,
they're
to
not
stay
children,
young.
which
Right,
is like, you
yeah.
guys are bad at your witching.
Oh yeah, they
They're
said
like,
they're
we're
40.
like 40. We're 40.
You should be able to smell them, right?
We just look good. You can't tell.
They said they've
And then
been so many children's
we're
souls.
reading so many children's soul. And then it's like, and you don't even have to do that. They will have it. There's potions and lotions. And like,
Yeah.
ooh, lotions.
So they
Like,
finally go
and
to
they take them to Walgreens.
And first thing first, they see the doors. Then they go through the automatic doors, and they're like, "What is this sorcery?" I
They're like, oh,
it.
they
It's
are
silly.
witches.
Let's see your face.
Well, because it's like I don't mind those because I enjoy a good like fish out of water scene, but I think you have to put a cap on how much you put on there because it's like at a certain point it can get okay. That's annoying,
No.
and that's how I felt because I felt like at first like the doors liked it. But then going like the rest of it, like the lights and everything, it's like we don't have to remark on
Yeah, they did.
every
They did. Yeah,
single
a little bit,
thing.
yeah.
And it's just like you have to put a cap. Like we don't have to. We know what Walgreens is, so you
Right.
don't have to tell me every single thing.
Yeah.
It was
No,
like
I agree.
like a better scene of that is the scene in, even though it's a shitty movie, Wonder Woman 84, is when Chris Klein comes back and he's just like, holy shit, is that art? And she's like, that's a trash can. He's like, all right, cool. And then he sees an escalator, but he doesn't do it for every single
Right,
thing
right.
he sees. So it's
Yeah.
like, you put a cap on it.
Yeah.
We get that it happened.
If you just do one thing, then it's fine. You get the gist, and you don't.
Or a
have to do it
montage.
again.
Right.
A montage could have worked here. You could have had
Yeah.
them looking at little things or
Yeah,
whatever the
yeah,
case, or being freaked
yeah.
out by certain shit. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, true.
I just think I think sometimes
Yeah.
because I also think that they didn't have enough to make a full movie, so they tried
Yeah.
to extend a lot.
Right.
And it still
I
didn't
think
end up
what
like that
'cause
long,
what-
Yeah,
really.
no, it wasn't. It was
No,
only
it
like an
wasn't.
hour
No,
47,
it
which means
wasn't.
that the original cut was probably like an hour 30, maybe.
I think that what they were trying to do was pay homage, but do something different, and they did do that. You know what I mean? It's like they didn't, you know what I mean, template the story like they do.
Yeah, a lot of
in
sequels do that, where
I
it's
thought it
like
would've
it's the
been-
same one, but not
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
I
They-
didn't expect to see the twist of events.
No,
and
no.
and it's gonna be
Yeah.
different kind of.
I
characters.
100% expected this to be another get a bunch of children rounded up thing.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
too. So that was, I mean, that was good.
But we walked
yeah.
the little walk they do. They did that, that iconic Sanderson sister walk where they're like
Oh yeah,
crossing legs over and stuff. And then I don't know. I just like that little stuff. How they bring that back. And then they get to the lotions and they're eating all the lotions and
They're
things.
drinking that shit.
Yeah,
It's gross.
they're drinking. It just made me taste everything. I was like that.
I did. I could taste it. It was pretty gross.
It tastes perfumey. It tastes all kinds of stuff.
But they were in it. They were like, "Oh, this tastes like raspberries," and all that shit. Like it was crazy. And then so basically, I don't remember what happens here.
They looked in that round mirror.
Yeah, they looked in the because they took a picture with some fans with some girls who were dressed up as them who thought they were just like
regular
cosplayers, I
Yeah.
guess. So, and they had the filters on, so they thought that it was working, and they looked all young and cute because they had the filters on. And then they looked up at that fucking
mirror.
circle mirror and was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
It didn't work. They basically accused them of lying, and then I think Mary pretty much knew that they weren't 40 years old from the beginning because she's been threatening to eat them the whole time.
Right.
So she was on to it, and that's when they found out about salt.
They tried to attack the
yeah.
girls, and that's when Becca, she's like, "Hey, get some salt," and she gets some salt, and she pours it just like in front of them.
Well, she falls and they
Oh yeah,
spray it out.
It falls, spreads out,
and then that's when you see the witches. She tries to do, that.
But also there was a blue Becca hand.
yes,
Oh,
that was.
I didn't notice it at that point.
I noticed it then.
I did
but
too.
I thought, am I tripping?
Yeah, I did too. That was the exact same thing. I was like, seems weird.
Yeah,
Guess we won't talk. Guess we won't talk about it.
It
Yeah,
happened too fast. I missed
Yeah,
it.
it did. It was like
it's like they just threw it in there. It was kind of an Easter egg, if you
yeah.
will. Yeah.
I don't think it was much.
Not Easter
I think
egg.
it wasn't really an Easter egg. It was like foreshadowing, but not really very
light-
good at it.
Light,
Or maybe it meant to do that. It would want you to think, did you see something or did you not?
I think that's more likely.
Yeah.
So with that salt force field, they were able to get away for a minute.
Salt also works on ghosts, just so we're all clear.
Okay. Didn't know.
I'll try that next time.
Also works on snow.
So all things white, I guess.
And works on chicken.
That's enough. I've had enough of you. But it's okay. Yeah. So we get there. They run back to the fucking
Gilbert.
house of all places.
Yes, stupid.
That-
Oh, yeah.
That's not bright.
I guess. Well, they were looking to Gilbert. Well, two things. Well,
Yeah, they were running to
the
Gilbert
witches,
because
they
she
go
realized.
after them.
Well, but she realized what he did. So she wanted to go see him.
Did she realize
Yeah.
or did
No,
she?
no, no.
Did
So-
she?
Didn't she?
Let's go. The witches, they go after them. They don't know where they're going at this point. So they, this is now
Oh,
the
he
scene
didn't,
where
yeah.
they collect their flying instruments. And
yeah.
what's her name? The lead one. She finds
The regular broom. Yeah.
a witch's broom. Like they're selling them as witches brooms,
Right.
And then the other ones, one finds the Swiffer, and the other one
Finds the, what do you call
The
those?
Roombas.
Roombas. Yeah.
Room-
Which is what I was telling Mom. It was like it's essentially the same thing they wrote in the first one, just updated because
Right. She
Mary
had the
wrote a
broom.
vacuum, like an actual vacuum cleaner, and Sarah wrote a mop.
Mop. Right.
So
that's
now
the
she has
Swiffer.
the Swiffer
And
and the
then she
Roomba, so
Roomba.
they're
Yeah.
writing the exact same things.
Yeah.
That's clever.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes,
appreciate
absolutely,
that.
absolutely.
So they're chasing them. They go to Gilbert, in which he considers himself Gilbert the Great, and he sees that
Alliteration.
What?
Alliteration. Gilbert the Great, the GG alliteration.
Okay. Yeah, no, I do like that. I do
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
it's
Is
gotta
that what it's called? Alliteration? I could have sworn it was.
Yeah, no, it's alliteration.
You could have sworn it was
Then
what?
look, no, it's a different
Well, when
name.
you do things that are either it's like I think it's like like sounding exactly alike or have the same first letter kind of deal. Like when you be like the Great Gatsby,
No, I get
that's
what you're
considered.
saying,
That's what it is.
but I think it's a different name.
No, I think it's alliteration.
There might be another one.
Yeah,
right, well-
but it's definitely alliteration.
I'll
Stop
come back
hating
to
me.
that. I'll come back to that. So they girls get there, and he sees the book's awake, and he's like, "Whoa, it's awake!" And he decides to take it out of the thing
Because he's a weirdo.
and open it like
Right.
an idiot. And then this big light beacon goes up,
And
out
then,
the
of
book.
course, they see it.
And and so he finally explains. They're like, we can lit the candle and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, I needed you guys to light it or whatever. And they're like,
He was
what?
like, well, why couldn't you light it? He was like, come on.
And then, what's her name?
She's like, ew, gross. I was like, well, you act stupid.
Because only virgins can light the candle.
It only works.
So, anyways, Gilbert saw them.
He explains that he saw them 29 years ago when they
Yeah, 'cause-
first
yeah,
appeared.
Yeah, because she was like, you knew? Because then that's when she realized that's why he gave them the
because he knew
candle.
there was real.
Yeah, and he got the
wanted
book.
them to come back.
He was like, they're fucking murderous witches. Who was like, yeah, but everyone loves them, and that might be different this time. I was like, dude, that's kind of stupid.
He found the book apparently. I'm like, how did he?
Well,
find
no,
the book?
they never. The book. I don't think the book was ever gone because at the end of the first one, they still had the book. I think they
True.
returned it to the house.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That's what he said. He said he followed them to the house, saw everything that happened. So I'm sure he just waited out and was like, "Ooh, book."
Okay. So the witches, they get there,
They do.
and now she's like, I have to use that spell that she promised never to use.
They were like,
Power
"But you
spell.
said you wouldn't use it." She was like, "Shut the hell up, desperate times."
She said it's been over 300 years. Like that's expired already.
She didn't read the warning. That's very
she
important.
did say it expired.
Yeah, and the book tries to stop them, and then finally she cracks him open, like, she does a little zap on him, and he's like, "Oh, dang it, here, just read the warning," And she's like, "I don't need no damn warning."
She did say she don't need no damn warning.
Just show me the spell, And she was like, "Oh, she needed certain ingredients," and she goes tells Gilbert, "Go get these things," and she's like, "Go get me an hourglass." My hourglass. He's like, "Oh, what hourglass?" And she's like, "Oh, what did she say?"
She was like, "Well, if you don't have it, I guess I could just kill you."
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, "You know what? Now that you mention it, I think I know where that hourglass is."
And he gets it, and it's pretty much a binding. She puts a binding spell on it for him to have a certain amount of time. And
He has to find the ingredients.
Yeah, and so he goes and he brings back the zombie.
Billy Butcherson.
Billy
There we go.
Butcherson.
Also
Billy
alliteration.
Butcherson. Yeah, and he talks about, they think that I cheated or something like
He's
that.
like, we
Kiss
shared
one, and then
one
kiss the other.
kiss.
Oh yeah, he gets to tell his side of the story where he's like, no, that's not what happened. We kissed one time. That was it. She
And ever
is
since
delusional.
then, basically, he's saying he's got a terrible reputation. And,
Yeah.
His name
all
is
that.
sullied.
And he's like, I'm going to help you clear your name.
Yeah, Gilbert is obviously a trickster. We
He's
know this at
terrible.
this
Well,
point.
I mean,
He's
his
about
life
getting the
is on
job
the
done.
line.
Yeah,
What
okay.
would you do?
I don't blame him, but he's too good at
I
this.
gotta do what I
He
gotta
tricked the
do.
girls into lighting the dang candle.
Well, clearly that wasn't that
So-
hard. He just gave him a free candle. They were like, "Ooh,
Yeah, what a jerk, though. And then
that's
so-
their fault for taking free shit. Nothing's free."
This is when the witches go to the fair, right?
Well, first they trap the girls basically because they find
They're
out they're in
down
there.
in
They
the-
trap
yeah.
them in the basement.
Oh, yeah,
by
yeah.
saying they're putting a spell, basically like you can't get out no matter what you do. So they try to go to the stairs and the stairs disappear. And then they go to the little fair thing.
And then did they see the sign? How did they know that the guy was there?
They did. They saw a sign that said Mayor Trask on it.
Oh, yeah. And
okay.
they're like,
Oh no, they saw the flyers that they left. Remember, because
That's right.
the mayor
Yes.
asked them to take the flyers to the Sanderson house and put them up. They just leave them on the table,
Right.
Because they're rude and they don't do what they're asked to do.
Jerk.
And they find it and they're like, "Holy shit, that guy! We got to kill that guy because we need the blood of our enemy."
He's the descendant of
yeah.
the preacher guy. So
Okay.
that's their enemy. So that's
And
why
then
they
cut
had
back.
to. And so they were looking for him.
Yeah, cut back to Gilbert and the zombie, Billy Butcherson, looking for all the whole list since he convinced him to help him.
They do. Then they go on to have a nice little adventure of helping, and Billy is having the time of his life apparently.
It feels like he's connecting with him and everything. Like that's
Building
messed
a
up.
friendship. Yeah,
And then
yeah.
meanwhile, the girls use that
potpourri.
that potpourri joint, that anti-curse or whatever it is, that it breaks the curse, and they get out, and they're like, "Oh, we got to go warn people of things." And
Oh, right. And then they run into, that's when they run into the mayor again, right? And tell him
not-
about the party.
No, not yet.
Oh, not yet. Oh,
So
okay.
the witches go on stage. They decide to, crash the party, which was like a contest for like the Sanderson sisters.
Oh,
Well, no. You, I think we're out of order. I think you might be
Oh.
right because they do get out. They say we have to get there before he does, and they tell him
Oh, yeah,
because
right.
they got to get him home. They got to get him
Right.
away from the fair.
Right. And so they told him that she was having a
So
party.
they told him he was having a party, and he left.
Because first he was in line
For those-
to
for those
get his-
candied apples.
Yeah,
candy
true.
apple.
Dude was doing it. You had one of these before?
He's like, I gotta go get my daughter
boy.
before she ruins her life.
And
Fair
he
enough.
really dropped his candy apple. Huh?
He didn't know. He didn't
No,
drop
he
it. He
hasn't
never
even
got
gotten
one.
it yet.
He didn't get
he was
one.
in line.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
in line.
He asked those dudes to save his place. Never do that. Never do that.
I don't trust anybody.
So basically, they put a spell on all the people
Well, not yet. They do the little performance thing, and it's like it's drag queens dressed up as the Sandersons. So they call them men, and it's hilarious because they're kind of like, wait, what the?
No, some of them were girls.
Yeah, like the young girls.
I thought it was all.
No,
drag.
it wasn't.
It wasn't just drag.
I thought that's why he called them men when he was like addressing
probably
them.
That's probably making it seem like they look like they're in drag.
Yeah. So they were like,
Not
ooh,
wrong.
you look fierce, you look this, to the
Sanderson sisters.
the drags. No, I'm saying they were complimenting.
Oh, that's what they were.
Yeah, because
they were.
Like, she's this is how we look.
And
she
they're
was like, yeah, fierce. Why would you know that?
She's like, we're about to win. We're about to win this thing, and all of a sudden, and then those were girls. They were like teenage girls or young adult girls.
They won.
They looked like a singing group.
They were the middle, the one that was Bette Midler's character. She was black.
Oh yeah.
I like that how she had the curly red hair.
Yeah,
and then they sing.
Yep. Oh yeah. And this
one way or another.
Oh yeah. So this is because this is when they were looking for Trask. So they use that song like they did I Got a Spell on You, but they used one way or another.
That's fair.
To put a spell on
because at first I was like,
I'm gonna find you, because that's what it was.
Okay, I didn't. Because I will say at first I didn't like it because I was like, well, what does that have to do with Halloween? I was like, this is bullshit. But now that you said that, okay,
yes, they were
they were cursed.
Oh, so Cassie's dad is still there. He's waiting on the caramel apples at this point.
No, that's when he comes back.
Yeah,
that's when he came.
He
back.
comes back.
He came back. Oh yeah. Okay.
So he goes. He tells Cassie. Whatever he needs to tell her, that she's grounded forever.
And so he goes back. He got to get them candy.
He goes back. He sees that those dudes basically didn't save his space in line because they're eating candy apples. He was like, really? Fuck you.
And he's like in line, sweating,
watching all the candy apples
looking
go.
like it's about to be to the end, and he finally gets there and gets them.
And then
this is when the other people come back, and they're still in that trance, and they're all surrounding him and everything. And he's like, "What? Oh, you want to get candy apple? They're right there." And this whole thing, and then that's when it breaks. But he was dancing around with him, and I think he dropped it or something.
Oh yeah.
And
that's smart.
Because after that, he's like,
but it's a really bad spell because all they did was touch him, and they were like, "All right, spell broken."
Right.
They found him,
but
the witches did nothing. Like,
right. Well, because they weren't there at that point.
But why? Why would you're using
because
them?
They said they couldn't find him. They're like, "Oh, these not open."
But you're using these dudes as a locator spell. You might as well just send one of them. Use three of you, split up.
No, because they said we need a village idiot.
Oh, and they find that village idiot.
And that's when they found the boy, Mike. What's his name?
I don't know. Mike?
Is it Mike? I just called him Cassie's BF.
I think it's
and
Mike.
My nose, he's just
It is Mike.
BF.
It is Mike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he is dressed as a character from a Disney movie called Zombies.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Really?
He's the football. That is the thing. I watched it with a mirror.
Oh,
but
wow.
they're zombies.
Okay.
And there's werewolves and vampires.
Are you sure he wasn't?
No, he was dressed up as one of
football zombie from Beetlejuice.
No,
that's what
he
I was
had
thinking.
because he has the green hair, and he has that's what they are.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Okay.
The whole thing.
Anyway, so so they find him, and he basically
leads them right to Cassie's house.
Runs to Cassie's house because they had just gotten there already. Becca and the other girl, Izzy had gotten there because she was mad. Oh, you guys want to, are you happy now? I'm grounded and yada yada yada. And she's like, they're trying to tell her, what's going on at first, and then that's when they see the village idiot running down there yelling, bringing them right to him. And she was like, "Is that the Sanderson sisters?"
She was like, "Yeah. No time for all that bullshit."
You see them flying? Don't you? Yes. So they go in the house, and then they bust down the door, and they're trying to find them. And this is when
they do see Becca, and Becca lures them.
Lures them
down to the basement.
Our garage.
No, it's a garage. It's a garage.
Yeah. And she's got this water bottle, and she's got liquid in it, and she's like, "This is what you need," or whatever.
They were looking for some berries or some shit.
Yeah,
and she was like, "This is the last of it in the entire." I was like, "You witches are idiots. You just believe everything these girls say." Clearly, through the entire thing, they have.
Yeah, they have.
It's really bad. It's pretty bad.
But they get tricked, and the other girls, they come out and put salt around them, a whole salt circle.
And then they're looking like, what is this? Like, nothing.
Well, they
It's
got salted again. She was like,
and
hey.
then she's like, yeah, you can't. And then they're like trying to, and then what's Sarah Jessica Parker?
Sarah.
Sarah?
Yeah.
Oh, it is her name. And she keeps jumping up trying to get
No, she doesn't keep jumping up. Winifred keeps smashing her into it. Tried to use her as a battering ram.
smashing her face all in the
But yeah, so
force field.
basically they find out, and then she was like, ooh, what if we use a song to bewitch them? And then they're like, as soon as she says that, they all bolt out the house. And then this is the part where she was like, I'll hit you at a low register, hit the low. And then she starts talking about how she's going to sing it.
Yeah.
And then but that's when Winifred's like, you can't tell the people you're going to bewitch that you're going to bewitch them. Come on, man. This is Witching 101.
Right.
Then the girls. Oh, meanwhile, Gilbert leaves Billy Butcher at the fair.
And then
They're having fun spending time together, and he's just like, "Oh, okay, be back."
But then, well, because that's like simultaneously happened with the flash mob stuff. Because he comes back to, because this is around like when he comes back and he's like, I need your head.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, wait, what? He was like, look, I got a binding spell on me. I'm going to die. I need your head. It's simple. He was like, oh, fuck you, you piece of shit. So he ends up taking his head.
It's messed up.
Yeah, he takes his head, and it's unimportant till way later anyway.
Well, the girls talk, and Kat, that's when finally Becca, she's like, you don't hang out with us anymore, and she's like, you guys stopped hanging out with me. And she's like, because you got this boyfriend. He's like, I wanted to hang out with him and both of you guys. And he's like, he'd always make fun of us and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
And this is actually my favorite part of this entire movie, because this guy's like, wait, I wasn't making fun of you. I just thought you were weird. He said, I like it because he genuinely is like, it's just a fact. It's not a bad or a good thing. You are just weird.
And he said, I was making conversation.
And they were like, no, you were bullied. I was like, is that what I've been doing?
He's like,
oh my God, I have so many people I gotta apologize to. And I was like, I like this guy.
Yeah, I
like this guy because he genuinely saw them as weird, as just a thing, not a bad, not a good. You were weird. It's
weird.
okay. Hey, we invited Glenn to our party. You think I give a shit about weird? Like, he's just a guy who's like.
See him at the party.
He was killing it. They were playing some of that Silk Sonic. Inappropriate for
and
this
so,
movie.
The dad, he gets home and the kids are there. The dad sees the sisters. And he's going off. He's like,
they almost get tricked with fake sunlight again because he's pulling in the driveway. And they're like, oh no. I was like, oh no, it's a car again. They calls it a small bus because they know what a bus is.
Oh yeah,
because they rode a bus in the first movie.
Oh yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, see, they little things,
but
like that.
Subtle, important.
Yeah,
doesn't really. It's not detrimental.
No. But it's cool just throwing it in there.
We love nods to old stuff.
Because that was the thing I was saying. It was weird to me at first that like nobody else remembers what happened. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Nobody remembered what happened. The only people who would be the adults who were cursed, but they don't remember because they were cursed.
Right. So they just thought
the kids might remember.
The kids are the only ones who remember, but where are they?
Yeah, where are they?
That's what I'm saying.
And
they
that's
don't
another
exist.
thing. They didn't even. It's like that. Like they moved out of town. They
went back. He went back to California for sure.
They was like, we out. And the only one, but nobody knew that until he told the story, was Gilbert, that actually knew what happened.
He's the only one who saw,
right?
At
was
least
enthused about,
which also doesn't, because then because other people saw them, but they're just stupid. So there was that dude who was dressed up as the devil in the first one, and they were like, "Oh, Satan, our Lord," and whatever the case may be, and they were inviting him in. They were chilling and shit.
I know. that was what's his name? Marshall. That was Gary Marshall.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gary Marshall. Yeah, Gary Marshall. Yeah, Gary Marshall.
Yeah, cool.
Of course, Gary Marshall.
Cool guy.
Yeah. So he was. That's all I mean. Like, they're people interacted with them constantly. But everybody was just like costumes.
Like
see, Halloween.
Happening.
Halloween, man.
Well, like
dangerous.
they did with them in the
dangerous.
contest.
It's dangerous as fuck. Whatever, because the same thing happened when they went up on stage as the Sanderson sisters in the first movie. They were like, "Hey, it's the Sanderson sisters," and everybody was like, good costumes.
They were good costumes. If you didn't know, they're pretty authentic looking
so
things.
Gary Marshall, just so you know, He's the filmmaker, basically, director. Yeah. He did Pretty Woman, The Princess Bride, The Other Princess Bride, and The Other Princess Bride.
Wait, how many Princess Brides are there?
There were 3. Oh, not Princess Bride. I mean, The Princess Diaries.
Oh, I was about to say. I was like, did I miss? Were they sequels to this?
A League of Their Own, and he was in there.
There was a third one.
Yeah,
there was a second one. Princess Bride.
No,
I know what she's talking about now. But when she said Princess Bride, I was like, wait.
Was there?
No, it was one amazing movie.
Chicken Little. I mean,
okay.
And all the shows.
Did you just shake your head no?
Happy Days.
Oh, no, I said, okay.
Thought you just shook your head no at Princess Bride.
Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, no, I never seen that.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Oh, Princess Bride.
One of the greatest complete movies of all time.
Probably
I think it's great.
It.
Yeah.
You should.
No.
You should.
Nope.
It's got Andre the Giant in it.
No. It does. So anyways, the witches take Cassie. They were gonna Cassie. They just all of a sudden swoop her up. Boom.
Well, because they were like, they need the blood of their enemy, and they were like, loophole. They were like, they were like, they were basically, because he went in the house, and they were like, well, fuck, we're not going in. I'm not doing all this extra shit. Let's just grab her up.
Right.
Yeah.
And they did.
They used math.
Oh yeah. So
they used some math.
How did they get out of the salt? The Roombas.
The Roombas came.
And
I love it. Okay, because
they
did set up. They were like, oh, the guy said they have a mind of their own, and they kind of did. They were eating popcorn and everything.
Yeah.
It was fucking weird. And then they just show up, and they were like, oh yeah, let's go get this salt, and then that's how they got out.
Yeah. So they go ahead, swoop Cassie up. And a spark comes from Becca's hand. That blue spark again.
Yeah, right. She was like, "No,"
and they're like, "What?"
And she tried to ignore it and everything. I wouldn't have ignored it.
I know Izzy was like, "Yo, what the fuck was that?" They were like, "No time for that now." I was like, "I got a little time."
right.
I'd be like, "I have to see what I can do with these."
Right. And then she's like doing it, and then they're like, "Oh, like that's whatever or whatever." And then,
well, no, we
now we get to the witches meeting Gilbert in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah. They get all the stuff together.
They scratch Cassie and get her blood, and they
do the incantation. They're like, okay, now we have to start the incantation. You got to do it 7 times without fucking up, otherwise,
it starts
all over.
Right.
So then they're doing the incantation or whatever, and they're about to, and they fuck Gilbert up because they're like, all right, we don't need you anymore.
Oh, right.
And they were like, so now you can die, but he doesn't die because this movie there are no deaths, but there were deaths in that first one. Motherfuckers was dead. But yeah, so basically, then they see him flying. They were like, should we help him? They were like, no, we got to get Karen.
Cassie.
I said what I said.
And so she gets the other friend to go get Cassie, Izzy to go get Cassie, and Becca comes out with their glowing hands.
So stupid. Because she has no reason to be like, I can do this.
That would have been me. I'd have been like, I got power. I'm about to.
See, I got to go through my training montage. I know what happens. I've seen enough of everything to know what happens when you don't do that right.
That's how I like to start
you go half cocked.
Without the tutorial?
Yeah,
see, that's your problem right there.
Right in it.
I've done that and like, wait, what the fuck does this button do? I am getting murdered right now.
That's kind of what was going to happen in this.
She skipped the tutorial.
Where if the witches would have messed her up, But at this point, she's like, the book comes up and she's like, you can choose, right? Because she's like, I'm a witch,
Yeah.
And the book is looking, contemplating.
I forgot that part just because it's funny when she was trying to get to the book and he was like trying to act like he was hiding up there because he was looking with the other book and he's sweating the sweat bead.
Yeah, that was gross. That was a little gross because that's a book made of flesh.
I always thought the book was pretty gross.
It is gross. It's a pretty gross thing. But yeah, but somehow they do enough of it that they all get powers now. So Sarah zaps Winnie and she's like, "You don't fucking tell me what to do." And she was like, "Get your ass on." Okay, you're right. I fucked up. She
got it back in line real quick. She's like, "Yeah."
But first she felt powerful for a minute.
Yeah. So then she zaps her. The book. They read the book's warning, but then they come and they're trying to. She puts up this weak ass force field like an invisible girl, and they're zapping at it, and they're like, "You can't do this shit all day."
That's what the warning said. You need to share it. You need to share the power.
And then she was like, "All right, I guess we're holding hands."
Give me your hand, and
then of course the power of friendship strengthens her powers. And if there's ever anything that annoys the shit out of me, it is the power of love and our friendship. Because fuck it all.
And the witches are like, you know what? fuck you, book. We're gonna complete this spell without you.
They legitimately did just say, fuck you, book. They were like, yo, fuck it, book. We don't need it. I know this spell. And they were like, all right, we'll do it. And then they do. They complete the spell.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
But
and
the warning.
Becca read the warning, and then that's when she comes back to tell the witches of the warning.
Well,
saying that the warning was saying that the spell takes what you value most.
Most, right.
So what did she send Izzy and Cassie to go do? Because they did nothing. But she was like, you go do the thing, and I'll go. She's like,
she sent Izzy to get Cassie out of the restraints because they tied Cassie up.
Well, she was already there because they all held hands for the power of friendship.
Wow. At that point.
I'm talking about when they went back, like right now where we're at now.
She was pretty much telling them to get. Yeah, she didn't want them to come over there.
They were there with her. They were right behind her.
Yeah, it's so weird, but they weren't at first. That's what I'm saying. It was. I don't know what the purpose of.
I don't know,
because she just goes, "Hey, power, friendship, and love." It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. It says that if you get the power, you're gonna lose the thing that means the most to you. Winifred was like, "Poofy cock."
And then all of a sudden, that's when to the sisters, they're like, "Oh no, I feel funny." They start doing
they ripped off Infinity War.
They started doing the blip.
It was like, Mr. Stark, Mr. Stark, I feel so good, Mr. Stark.
That's exactly what. But
it took too long.
It did.
This is another one where we were like,
that did. Now I'll say that scene just took a little too long.
I'm going. Still going.
Oh my God, they had so much time to say.
It was like her hand was going and coming back.
Jesus Christ! It felt like a bit.
Yeah, it was bad. I will say that was a little that was extra.
It just took so long.
Yeah, that did.
But
eventually they disappeared,
and the girls discover that there's no, the book. She's like, I don't want to lose them. Book, help me. She's
and
like,
Book was like, fuck you.
Well,
just like, finally, she said, for old time's sake,
he was
is
like,
there something you can do?
He rolled his eye. He was like, all right, I got this spell for you. He opened up to the spell, and it's a spell for reuniting that sends them back together. But then
she's like, "Where are they?" And
she's like, "No. I don't think you understand how this works. You're about to get Mr. Stark too."
But she was happy with that. She was content.
I get it.
Now you don't like it because I know you're like, they're the villains, and now suddenly there's
I want them to be defeated, and I felt like they should have been defeated.
No, I appreciate this because
I do too. You know why I appreciate it? Considering today and this day and age, I was surprised, because usually the way things are, things from before, they just go worse and worse and worse. It gets deeper and darker and uglier. So I'm like, I'm okay with it.
They should have done that, though.
No,
they should have got dark as fuck.
It could have gotten dark, but no.
I'm glad they did.
There is a zombie. There's witches. They were hung in the first movie. Like, we can go darker.
No,
go a little darker.
We don't have to.
We can go a little darker.
I like that they didn't.
We can go a little darker.
They
lightened it up.
We could have
gone maybe another decade or two down the line.
But them being defeated didn't have to be like super dark because even like in that first one, like she was midway sucking old boy's soul. Like how when she got turned, and she was like, "Oh shit, the sun!" And she started trying to like get his essence faster, and it was like crazy. Like it was.
She was really.
It was a legitimate. Not even just that. We have Sarah Jessica Parker singing to these kids, and it was creepy Pied Piper shit.
That
really
was
creepy.
But that's what I'm saying. That was like that was like that. But see, I think at that time it was like that because you had Goosebumps.
But the '90s were different too.
What is it? Feel. Are you afraid of the dark?
Oh,
it was just
don't
like
look under the
children's
bed.
Scary stuff was really like
it was legit.
Yeah,
it was legit.
So
it was a good time.
I'm glad.
It was pretty legit.
I think we needed at least one thing of creepiness in this movie. All right, let's Sarah Jessica Parker sing that song again. Like
she started it.
No, they wouldn't let her. Remember, she was like they told her that because now that they have all this stuff, she didn't need it to. She was like, oh, okay. I kind of like. And it was like my favorite part, but whatever. We do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
they disappear.
Yeah,
the book looks all sad.
Power of love.
And Gilbert comes in all late, like, "What? You guys need help?"
He came in. Him and Billy came in with the who's and what we got. He had a shovel, which is fair.
Yeah.
He was waiting there behind a tree for a second.
I would have done the same thing. I'm not getting involved.
All right, they got it. Hey, you need help?
I was here the whole time, ready to fight.
And then Billy goes because he was still alive or a zombie basically because of
their
that.
Spell.
Right.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh shit! I guess if their magic Phantom Menaces, then I Phantom Menace. And if you don't understand what that means,
Yeah, I don't watch the Star Wars like that.
well, okay. If your power the Avengers, then my power the Avengers, because it's the same thing. When Tony Stark blows up the mothership and everyone just dies.
Oh, right.
That's the same thing that happens in the Phantom Menace. They
Right.
blow up the mothership and all the robots just stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I
it's
got
really
you.
stupid.
Yeah.
I never liked that, but it makes more sense because at least the powers are
Yeah.
connected instead of
Yeah.
actual things.
Right.
But he does. He Mr. Starks, and his Mr. Stark isn't as bad
Yeah.
because he's just like, oh yes, fuck, finally.
He's like, it's the rest.
He said, "Yeah, finally,
Eternal
rest."
rest.
And, he does,
And then
he
Gilbert's-
tried- and it looked like he tried to hit a Wakanda Forever on the way out.
That was a corpse pose.
Like
He
what?
does. He basically Gilbert's like, hey, don't worry, I'm gonna tell your story, man. I promise. He was like, maybe you're not such a complete waste of shit. Because he was really upset with him.
He was.
He was very upset with him.
He was pissed.
The
Well,
girls
yeah.
decide to keep that book instead of give it back to
That's
Gilbert.
creepy. That's fucking creepy.
I mean, they're witches
Well,
now.
you
so-
know.
Well, one of them is definitely the witch. The other two are along for the ride. Which
Yeah.
I
They'll
guess,
become witches
which I
eventually.
guess is essentially the exact same thing that happens
Yeah.
with Winnie and them, because she becomes the witch and they just become her coven.
yeah.
But even now that I'm thinking about it, in the first movie, other than them flying on the broomstick, which could be enchantments, Sarah Jessica Parker does the only other thing that may be considered like witchcraft, which is the song.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe they are witches by proxy.
Possibly.
I don't know because they were able to come back to life. Like
Well, that was a spell.
I mean, I think that when
They
it
curse
comes to-
themselves.
when it comes to fantastical things, I think in that case you can harness certain abilities when you
Well, it's
practice
like,
certain
well,
things.
I think that's why
like
it was
spells
important.
and stuff. Like wizards don't just do spells. A human can do a spell too, but it's just not going to be as powerful or it's
Then
not
what
going to work
is-
the same.
Then what makes a witch special? I guess is
Well, something naturally hard inside of them.
well, that's what I mean because Winifred was the only one able to do the
Right,
right,
little
right.
green lightning thing, and when the other
Right.
two got it, they were just like, "Holy shit, we have
Right.
actual
Oh,
powers
right,
now!"
right.
So I
That's
think
true.
maybe they have just been witches by proxy, like basically.
by practice.
Well, no, because they haven't done anything. I think
Right.
that everything that they've done has been done to them. Like their spells, their immortality has been done by Winifred to them because she is the witch, and they are simply, I think, her coven.
a coven. Oh.
Okay.
That's what I think. I there's probably some super fucking Hocus Pocus nerd out there who's gonna fucking break it, who can break it down, but who's like,
right.
well, actually,
Interesting.
in the extended universe, I'm like, you don't get your ass out of here with your extended universe.
With the lit glasses and
Yeah.
stuff, and he pushes them back. Well, actually,
If there is a Hocus Pocus, there better not be no comics or something. That'd be, oh my god. There probably is somewhere. That's the worst part
knows?
about
there's a
it.
fan
But do you
comic
know there are
somewhere.
some super fans out there that
Which I
have-
understand the
yeah.
first, but you know what? Actually, I'm gonna take that back. I don't really understand it because I remember we watched the first one. We had rented it once, obviously a Blockbuster situation, and it was fun. It was a fun time,
Blockbuster
but it wasn't
situation.
something that I was like, "Holy shit, Hocus Pocus!"
It
It,
was just-
wasn't until I got older that I understood that people and that nostalgia and people go hand in hand.
Right.
Because those same people who were like Hocus Pocus never said that when we were younger. It wasn't
Well,
until you get
because
older
you
and
know
things.
What? I think it. You know what?
Well,
I
it
think
has
people-
to be because what happened was it became a thing
Halloween classic.
every year.
It's a Halloween
so it's like
classic.
you wait for it. It wasn't. You weren't able to just. You
I
weren't
think
getting
that's
it
I
just
think
like
that's
that.
ABC Family because they only have like 3 Halloween
Oh, yeah.
stories on Disney. Period. So it's not like they had like a big library to go to.
No,
but
of
there's
course.
things
That's
that
the
That's
whole
what,
point.
but that's
Yeah.
what I mean. I don't think it was because I think it became a thing that became synonymous with Halloween. Well, because it does take place on Halloween,
Right.
So it's one of
That's
the
what I'm saying.
actual movies that are a Halloween
People,
movie.
This is one
Right.
of the things that people watched.
But
on
it
Halloween.
extends beyond Halloween. That's what I mean. Like the
Well, now
The-
I mean, but pre all this extra and social media, it was every year
It's
Halloween.
extends-
you're
know,
gonna
people
watch
think
it.
about Halloween all year long because people love Halloween. That's
Yeah.
how we're.
But those aren't
nostalgic
the
and
but
then
those
also-
but I'm saying like those overlaps aren't necessarily crossing all the time. That's what I mean. Like there are people who are talking about Hocus Pocus who don't even give a shit about Halloween. They just because
Right,
it's like
right.
it was a thing I watched when I was a kid. It's like the same way people will talk about all kinds of stuff like things that weren't necessarily good, but we sit there like now that the new Spider-Man shit came out, everybody's like, that Andrew Garfield one wasn't really that bad. But it's like, it was. You guys are just, now you guys are trying to justify. Well, I'm not, it's individual taste, but I'm talking about as a whole, as a culture.
Right.
They were considered terrible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, because the
Of
new
the
Spider-Man,
whole-
because
right.
of the nostalgia, people are like, well, actually, like, no, you can't change it now because you want, because you're hyped
Yeah,
up about it. That's
right.
what that is. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's
I've
the
done
same
that
thing.
before.
Like,
about stuff that I didn't think I didn't really care about, but then when something happened,
It brings you back to a feeling. Where were you when you first saw something?
sometimes I think that, because I feel like even like the Nightmare Before Christmas, like when that came out, that was my shit. I was hype on it, like, and I stayed that way till now. But when I got older, I started noticing people it became their personality. Like, Nightmare Before Christmas, I got Jack Skellington buttons and all this other stuff.
Onesie.
I'd be like, yeah, that's cool, but I like the movie.
Right,
Like, it's
right.
not,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
people
yeah.
start to make things their whole personality.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
people who, like, I love Halloween, but there are people who are like, I'm only Halloween.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, and those
Like, I
fucking-
hate those. No,
Those are
no,
weirdos.
Real talk. It's like
everybody's
those
a
people that
Halloween.
you know, like it's friggin', March, and then it's like I can't wait till Halloween.
Well, I mean, that is me, but
No.
No.
I
think that's a
I'm
lot of
talking
us.
about
not to that extent.
Yeah, I'm talking about to that extent.
Well,
like I don't even live until it's Halloween. I'm like, okay.
So then go
you're
back in
doing
your
the most.
coffin, creepo.
But I get why people love Halloween. So it makes you think of.
I mean, it's fun. I
fun
always loved it as a
times.
kid.
And
I
the
mean, that's
movies,
just-
especially in the 90s, we loved Halloween time around like that time movies and things like that because you had great stuff. And then, of course, the older stuff like Halloween,
we used
the
to watch,
Halloweens and stuff like that.
like
Like,
the old stuff. Like we used to, I think you were a little young.
We
You
used to
remember
watch
watching
that Creature of the
Yeah.
Black Lagoon and
the-
Frankenstein and Wolfman and all that stuff. The black and white joints, they're really good.
Nosferatu.
No, that was that's
That scared me.
What?
that's a boring movie.
What?
It's a vampire movie called Nosferatu, but it's boring.
It's scary. I just saw.
He just has
So,
ugly teeth.
and then of course at the end they do the walk.
And they were like, "What are we doing?" I don't know. Oh my god, that was the thing they were doing at the Walgreens.
Whatever. You know why that's cool? Because friendship.
And I'm so crazy.
I'm
I
so sick
forgot
of
it
that.
that quick
I was
because
so
I
sick.
didn't really catch it this movie like I knew in the other movie, so it didn't even.
Well,
dawn
'cause
on
they
me.
also
So
do
you
it
know what I
more
saw?
in the other
But you know
movie.
what I saw when I saw it? I'm like, what are they doing? The monkeys? Because that was a show. The monkeys, the singing group, and they used to be like, "Here we go, walking down this." Whatever. Anyway, I'm a little.
Nah,
old
it
now.
is. It was because they did it a lot more in the first one too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this one,
Oh
they
yeah,
did-
because everywhere
all-
they went, they were like,
It was
Yeah.
also it seemed more natural then because now they push for it.
"Well,
like,
they're a little too
do
old."
that walk.
I think
you
that's
know?
why.
Yeah, and that's definitely that. You know that like at first that
That's a
wasn't
little
that
too
probably wasn't
athletic
in
right
there.
now.
Yeah, it probably wasn't even in there, and then somebody was like,
But in the
We gotta
first
put
one,
it
it
in.
seemed natural. Like, let's go, sisters.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
they just did it. They just did it. They just did
But
it."
this one, it kind of seemed like we got to do that thing that we've always done.
You have to do the thing so that somebody somewhere could be like, "The thing, they did the thing,
They did the thing.
They did the
They
thing."
And that's pretty much it.
That was
That's
it.
how it ended.
I like that the ending. They cut it off. They didn't have.
Yeah,
to
they
go
didn't- yeah.
3 months later or.
Well, they did in the first one too. Same thing, basically.
Yeah, they
We
did.
didn't, we didn't
yeah,
have
it was after they were coming out from that dance fest.
that was like, yeah, it
Dance-a-thon.
was like that was the
It was
like
all-
Stinger scene before Stinger scenes. It
Yeah.
was just like their mom dressed as Madonna. I felt like wasn't even cursed though. she was
Nah, she was just having
she was
the
just
time of her
ready.
life.
Yeah, she was clearly just ready.
She was voguing and everything.
yeah.
Curse. You guys are cursed? That's weird.
Oh yeah, we all got cursed.
All
That's
right.
right.
So,
Who's first?
well, I guess it doesn't matter, huh? 'Cause
No, this is a free. This
was
is a
nobody's.
This was just one that we
So
had
just
to.
watch this.
We just had to do it. It
could've done
had to
something
do.
else.
We had to do it. We had to do it. It
Well, I
needed
mean,
to
we
be
get to
done.
pick.
I guess.
Yeah, we still get to pick. We got three more weeks.
All right.
Yeah. So
Who's first? You?
I'll go first. So honestly, I mean, for me, first of all, I was optimistic because both of you were talking about how trash it was going to be, and I just like I have hope, because I'm. First of all, let's talk about expectation. I mean, first of all, sequels. Okay, let's go there. But you got great people. You got Bette Midler.
Great.
Awesome. Kathy Najimini.
Najimini. She fine as hell,
I
too.
love her. And then but
Mary.
the surprise, the other witch, not Sarah Jessica Parker, the other one.
Oh.
The
Fine.
surprise.
You ever see her when she's not like
Yeah,
she's
she's-
fine as hell.
she-
She's like, what
I
is
don't call her
she?
fine,
Like
but-
Armenian or
Something
something?
like
I don't
that.
know.
No, she fine.
But anyway, and so that was great. But then you got people you don't know, and doing something totally different. The story is totally different, and I really like that. They did not carbon copy this thing. You know, they took the essence because they had the Sanderson sisters, and that worked for it. But everything else, they were able to just be let's take it this way, and they did, and I like that. Even though it's a lot of stupid stuff, but I like that they just said, what they got to lose? It's got a name that works.
Nothing. It was on Disney Plus and didn't go to theaters.
Yeah, they had nothing to lose, and really and truly,
they had a generally not complicated story.
Yes,
it
absolutely.
It could have been overly complicated for no reason.
Yeah, yes,
but
and it didn't go that deep, and I like that it didn't. So for me, honestly, I'm giving it a 6.5. And it's not comparing it to the movie as a standalone.
No. You got to do your own thing.
Yeah, I would give it a 6.5. I was not disappointed because there was nothing to be disappointed. I mean, it could have been.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
Oh, it could have
Yeah,
been.
I feel, but see, I think
It's
that's
not your turn.
I know it isn't your turn. I know. Thanks, Mom. Shut him down.
Which mic are you? Number 2? I'm muting you.
No, but so that's where I'm at. 6.5.
Took the words out of my mouth.
You shut your mouth. Go ahead. Say you do your thing.
All right. So I'm gonna agree. Well, no, actually, starting off, no, my expectations. For this movie, I didn't want to watch it, but I don't regret watching it. I kind of actually somewhat enjoyed it. So I'll give it a 7 actually, because I feel like it could have been a lot worse, and they did generally all right for the audience today, and it was still enjoyable.
And without taking it, I mean, they did throw some things in there.
It's not your turn.
That shouldn't be.
I
but
know,
anyway,
right?
Sorry.
Thanks. Thank you.
They did extra, but you know what I'm talking about. But anyway.
But yeah, I mean, they push for things, but I think that's
today.
That's just how things are.
Yeah.
And, but I still enjoyed the movie. So I give it actually a 7. Yeah, so.
You said that though.
Oh, I did. Yeah. Just reiterating it. 7.
So in case you forgotten about it, what'd you think you got with the 6.5?
I thought.
All right. I didn't have super expectations because I'm not a huge fan of the first one to where I was like, oh, this movie has to be flawless kind of deal. But I did think that because it's so late that it was going to be garbage.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not 100% garbage. I feel like we were saying earlier, I feel like the potential is clearly there. It's a lot of just irritating, annoying things in this movie that kind of take me out of it a lot. But other than that, it's a fine, contained Hocus Pocus 2 and the Power of Love. You get that shit right the fuck out of here.
Honestly.
You get that shit right the fuck out of here. I hate it.
It could have been worse.
I didn't like the ending, but I'm not mad at it as well. But I agree with a lot of people. I think this movie drops the ball as far as what it was expected to do, and I think that's why you don't give it the fanfare that it got, because then your expectations are going to be way too high. I don't know what the expectations were because, like I said, I didn't think the first one was a great movie. I think it's a good movie, but I don't think it's that. And now we're going to see more of this shit. So,
of course.
Just be ready for 2 fucking everything. Any movie you've ever loved, there's going to be a fucking 2 20 years later.
Or not loved.
Because we also, look.
Conjure up all your
basically,
sentiments.
I'm giving this a 5. It's right down the middle for me. I wouldn't watch it again. I'm probably going to have to at some point because I don't know if Amir's seen it. But
possibly.
I wouldn't go out of my way for it. I think your plus is also a plus and also a negative, which is some of the new faces doing the stuff, which is good because sometimes if you were going to do it and all these people come back and they're old, that's stupid. Yeah. That'd have been dumb. So I get that, but some of them are really annoying, Becca.
Actually, all the girls were annoying.
All the girls are very annoying.
But
Izzy was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Izzy was pretty
I liked
cool.
her.
Yeah, she's all right. But I could ignore them generally because the story kind of went around.
I will say I do appreciate the story because instead of doing the exact same thing where we need to eat a bunch of kids, they were like, nah, let's kill somebody. Let's just get ultimate power. Fuck it. It's just cool.
Yeah.
Highlander shit.
You're right.
The ripping off Infinity War was pretty blatant.
It's okay. Though. It's okay.
No, not one of them was like, I don't feel so good.
Well, she did actually though.
Did she?
Yeah,
Yeah, she did. She
was
did.
just like, oh, I feel weird or something like that.
Also, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Okay, gosh, you just have to stop it.
don't
I
do it.
just everything about her. Just garbage.
You know what? I'm
Just
not
garbage.
a fan.
She ugly.
I'm
She's
not
a
fan.
look. She looked like a foot. Her acting
always say
isn't. Her
that.
acting isn't very good. She's.
That's not true. She is a good actress.
She is.
She's not terrible. She's
no.
not terrible.
She was lucky that Sex and the City lasted so far because Kim Cattrall was amazing. Everybody else, butt ass.
Oh my gosh.
This isn't the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
This is Sex and the City. Golden Girls is
but
amazing.
We're not trying to. We're talking about Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, she's garbage.
I think she did good. I think she did.
I think
well.
she did. I don't think she could have messed this up. I think they almost messed it up for her.
Why?
Like writing wise and stuff like that. I think they almost messed it up for her because of some of the way it's the older effect because she's still supposed to be playing
A
the
young ditzy.
same character, but it's like with the other two you can see because they never had like bubbly younger
Right,
personalities, but with her she did, and because she's older and she's still doing it, you're just like, it's weird now. It's weird. It's weird.
It's a good enough space between them.
She
because
didn't
it's
do
the
it as much. I
same.
will say, like at the
Yeah.
beginning part, it was like heavy, and then she just kind of got to just stupid, and it was like, all right, cool, be stupid, but just don't be
Yeah.
bubbly. It's weird. Creeps me out a little
Bubbly,
bit.
but not like jumping up and down. Bubbly.
Oh god,
Yeah.
well she can't.
More like
I'm sure her knees would not allow it.
a light bounce.
Her knees are not going to let her do it.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Huh?
we did it.
That's
We
it
did.
for Hocus Pocus 2.
So who's up? Who's up next? Do you have yours?
Yeah, I'm next. Let's take it.
Okay, you got it?
Yes.
All right, John, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Oh, we're doing 13 Goose.
That was from Mom.
Yeah.
Yay! We're gonna be doing 13 Ghosts, guys. It's a pretty good one. All right. So, anything? Anything?
No, that's it.
Anything?
That's it.
We did it.
As always, spook some. What are we calling this?
What do you mean?
Like, what are we calling it? Like, it can't just be a regular. Like, it's like. I don't want to say spooktacular because I know another podcast does that already.
Oh.
So I want to call it something, but we got to figure it out. This is our
Our
Spooky Dukes.
family frights. Oh,
frightful.
you almost had it. Family frights. There we go. I did it. We'll brainstorm it. We'll brainstorm
Yeah,
it.
we'll
Okay.
see what happens.
All right. Well, if that's it, nobody's got anything else.
Nope.
Nope.
Hey, I guess.